Hi, it's Glenn McQueenie, and welcome to my 25-minute Success Series podcast. On each one of these podcasts, what we're trying to do is really talk to individual agents and really kind of explore what's going on in their business right now, where they are today, and where they're going. And the whole goal, really, of these podcasts is just within 25 minutes, we're going to kind of figure this whole thing out and then give them a great almost 12-month blueprint to follow. So today, my special guest is Michelle Poirier from Royal LePage Terre Equity Realty in downtown Toronto. So how are you doing today, Michelle?
Hi, Glenn. I'm great. Thanks for having me on your
Oh,
podcast.
well, thank you for joining me. I'm very interested in exploring where we're going to go with this call today. So, just for people listening, can you just give them a little bit of a background of how you kind of got into real estate, how long you've been in it, where, and really where you are now, and where you'd like your business to go?
Sure. My background is business management. For many years, I was a manager in a theatrical company downtown. And in my job, my responsibilities were handling the day-to-day operations, the marketing, the accounting, the people. And I did that for a long time. And when it was time to move on, real estate was on the list of things I would like to do. And after a lot of consideration, I decided to take a chance on it. I was always concerned because I'm not what you would call an A-type personality, and so I was sort of terrified about being able to approach people and to do the prospecting side of the business. And so that has been one of my biggest challenges. But I started real estate about 3 years ago. I'm just coming to the end of my third year, and I'm starting to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. The first 2 years were a lot of trial and error, and it's really hard to get motivated when you don't know if what you're doing is the right thing. Handling customers, no problem. Learning the market, no problem. But keeping a steady stream of clients is really the hardest thing, I guess, for anyone in this industry, especially when you're starting out. So
No,
I'm always looking for new ways.
I couldn't agree more. It's so interesting how, all the licensing programs are all more about, protect your broker, stay out of jail, keep yourself out of trouble. And there's very little effort ever put into, like the salesmanship of it, or just really understanding human behavior, and more importantly,
Yeah.
like the marketing side of it. Like, okay, now I've got my license. I really like working with people. I really love real estate, but now what do I do, right?
Right. It
So,
it's very intimidating, I think. Unless you're just a really natural gut, the gift of the gab type of person, I think it's a little harder to break in. Once I have a client, I'm very confident with taking care of my clients and helping them buy or sell or whatever it is they're trying to do. And it's just getting to the point where you have somebody that's going to listen to you and give you a chance.
so would you think it's more the lead generation side, or is it you've got enough people, it's just converting them to work with you? What would you think if you had to guess?
I think it's about 50-50 for me. I think I would say a little lazy on the social side, but that has changed. I have changed a lot of my habits. I make time to socialize more, and not just socializing, but networking. I use meetup.com quite a bit. I find it's very useful to meet people with similar interests through meetup.com. It takes time to build those relationships, but that is a very useful tool, I think. But when it comes to regular lead generation, I find it I'm not either I'm not getting great leads or I'm not able to convert them, and possibly because they're just all over the place. There's
Right.
I don't know who these people are, or we don't have enough of a connection, and so that's tough. That part is, I guess, the hardest part is converting a
Well,
stranger over the telephone.
uh, well, it's pretty hard, right? We're kind of born, um, I think, to almost have an immediate closed mind when people are talking to us or trying to sell us something. Like we got that born skepticism, and some people trust others really easily, and other people it takes a little while to build that up. But I
Yeah,
think what
and
this is the
I'm a skeptic, so I've always
that's right,
been a skeptic. So I'm already in that mindset, thinking, oh, they don't want to talk to me.
right.
So that's the other part. It's you know what I mean?
So I
Like,
think Yeah, no, I totally understand it. And I think what we have to do is blow up the traditional model of lead generation and prospecting for real estate agents. It flat out doesn't work. And I know it doesn't
mhm,
work because if you look at the distribution of transactions among the 49,000 members of the Toronto Real Estate Board, we have, 13,000 who did not do one sale last year. We have another 13,000 that did one. And then we've got about another I think the grand total is something like 87 or 88% of the agents total do less than 6 transactions, which is basically not enough to survive in Toronto. And
mhm,
we're finding this kind of push more to where larger teams are getting their unfair share of the market because they're actually segmenting their teams into a bunch of specialists. And that's what the consumer wants right now. You know, the
mhm,
consumers don't want the general information that they can easily Google. They're looking for more value added information that they can't find online. And so part of, determining your niche market is really more about just finding out, you know, who you are, or more importantly, you reverse engineer it. So you kind of go, okay, so if we look back on your 5 favorite transactions, what are some of the characteristics of those people that you admired that made it fun to work with them?
um, I think obviously they're similar to me in some way. They
Right.
similar values. They're very very. I've had really good rapport with them. Um, just there's just a connection.
Right.
Similar personality or uh, just a similar way of communicating. Uh,
Right.
it people like me, people that are in the same stage of life, like similar age group. Um, I find that in reviews that I get similar comments that I'm very empathetic or I'm very positive. I feel like I'm a problem solver, so I love to help people that are going through something like either downsizing or maybe they're going through a tough time, they're going through a divorce, or they're in a difficult situation, or they have a challenge that and they need someone who's really going to help them through it. So it gives me, I guess, a sense of purpose that I'm really helping them. It goes beyond just selling a house and um, or buying a house. It's you know what I mean. There's more of a personal connection, and of course, getting them a good deal on either side. That that's also very satisfying. Um,
Right.
because
Oh,
it's a challenge. The challenge makes it great, and just being able to accomplish that is makes you feel great. So, um,
so we have to find more problems or sorry, more people with problems for you to solve in a very patient, methodical, logical, supportive way, right? Do you agree?
Yeah. I have
And
a million patients. The
right,
other type of client I love are picky people that know exactly what they want,
right,
because they answer all your questions. There's no wasting time. They know exactly what they want, and so they need somebody like me who has a lot of patience. But
right.
to me, it simplifies the process to me. So
So people,
so
so people who know
that's
what they
my
want.
yeah.
Right, go ahead.
They're hard to satisfy, but it's the picture. It gives me a clear picture and a clear mandate. So I guess it runs with my. I have a lot of patience, and it's just that's one of my strengths, and I like to when I connect with someone who uses my abilities, they appreciate me. So
So
that
I want you to start. Go ahead, finish off. I thought you were done there. Sorry.
that's all I was going to say. That seems to be what's working the best for me, and also from an age point of view, I'm middle aged, so it all those things sort of happen in that age group, more so than like first time buyers. I can relate to them, and
Okay.
so that works for me.
So it sounds like what you're really looking for is you, right? Like you're probably, are you a bit picky, maybe?
Yes, I'm very
Yeah.
picky.
So it's so interesting that, the people that we work with the most are really the people who have the same mindsets as us and same standards and same values, and they're similar to us. It's no different than who
Mhm.
your friends are. And I'm not saying all your friends are picky problem solver people, because you actually have a lot of complementary different skilled friends. But if you think about, you're really in the mindset attracting business. What you're looking for is, here's 7 or 8 key mindsets that I want in those people. And if I can market it and lead generate it in such a way that I would attract their attention of those characteristics, then I'm going to get more leads of those type of people into my business, and I don't have to deal with all the other type of people. It was interesting.
Mhm.
You talked about, you're not the A-type personality. There's those A-type personalities irritate and really repel a lot of people too. I mean, yeah, they're
Yes.
go-getters, bull in a china store kind of people, and some people love that. And the people who like those type of people
Uh-huh. They
are the
don't
people
like
just
me.
like them. That's right. And so let's forget about them, because
Of course.
that's the beautiful thing. And when I wrote that book, the whole idea of the book was just be you. It's right on the cover. It says just be you and bring your natural strengths to a target market of people you want to serve. So right now we're looking for picky people who have a problem that they need to solve in a very patient way. And that becomes our target market. And then what we need to create is, okay, what is the technology or lead generation system that would be the magnet or the bait almost to attract just those type of people? It's almost like if you're fishing, fishermen, I guess they use, or fisherwomen use different types of lures for different types of fish. And this
Mhm.
industry somehow thinks lately, well, we use all the same stuff, like, so they'll send out like free evaluation cards, free CMAs, because they're trying to hit as many people as possible, and they end up hitting no
Mhm.
one. So,
Right.
I know that some of the most successful agents I know are actually not high D closers. They're really people who have built these massive repeat and referral based businesses, because
Mhm.
they don't just treat someone as a transaction, they build a really deep relationship about them. And
Right.
and then you see other people who will build it, but they'll build it within a niche of, well, I like to play hockey, so it's like a lot of hockey players, or a golf club, or a bridge, or, they love theater. They love, and I would really tell you, like, whatever you're looking for is you, and where do you spend your time, and where could we position you in such a way that when you're talking to people, they get who you are right away, and they go, "Oh, you get me, and I get you," and you kind of become, good friends with them. Because I'm listening to you, and I'm kind of going, I bet you pretty good friends with all the clients that you deal with.
Yeah, we usually hit it off quite well. It yeah, either we're close or we're not.
Right.
It's there are, of course, there's people I've dealt with that were, I think, just different personalities, and they, we didn't get warm and fuzzy. But if there's an opportunity to develop that, I'm there. And
Right.
so, yeah, the people that I continue to contact, I keep in touch with, we have that extra connection, and
Right.
they
So let's
know, they
think about
understand where I'm coming from.
right. So if you think about it, you've probably had a lot of different friends in your life that you're not friends with anymore. Either because probably it's usually your mindset shifted, like you've grown past them, they've outgrown you, you've outgrown them. A lot of us, some of us still hang around with our childhood friends, but there's a lot of friends and acquaintances that we just don't spend time with just because our values changed and they didn't change with us. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So think about your real estate business the exact same way. Is I only have to find 8 to 10 or 15 people. Like, how many transactions would you like to do 12 months from now? It's 12 months from now. We've had a perfect year, your best year ever. How many transactions would that be?
I would say 12.
So now we have to
12
find
would be
one person a
amazing.
month.
10 would be acceptable.
Okay. So that's perfect. So the next
Yeah,
12 months, we just have to find one person a month to do a transaction with. And that
right.
person or that family or single or couple or whoever it is, they just have to be like me. So, if you were describing, if I had to fill your appointment calendar for next week and you're describing where I'm supposed to go and find those people who are just like you, where would you direct me? Where are people like you hanging out?
Um, I, I, I guess I, the only places that I've been able to figure out are mostly meetup groups. Um,
And what's the name of the
I
meetup group?
One of the meetup groups I've been going to for a couple of years is a wellness meetup group. These are um, a lot of women entrepreneurs. It's a female group, and I'd say about half the group are involved in some kind of wellness occupation, whether
Okay.
it be therapy or. So I've kind of zeroed in on that, and I'm
Right.
clicking with these people. And I go maybe once or twice a month to those meetups. I guess there's probably other places to find similar people with similar mindsets. And the what do I do? I don't have much of a life. I meet people for I meet people for coffee or for dinner. I try to get a couple of those in every week. I I'm trying to decide, whether to join a gym at this point, but that's a big hit or miss with when it comes to networking. Um,
Do you like fitness classes?
I don't love them. This is one of my problems. I'm a skateboarder.
Okay.
It doesn't really jive with the real estate, but I
And a lot
that's
of
what I like.
skateboarders owning homes, or
Not well. Believe it or not, there is an older aged group, but it's a lot of guys, and so it's like, unfortunately, that's one of my challenges, is trying to move away from that a little. I went and played volleyball last weekend. That was fun. So I'm trying. I'm really trying to find other things to do. But I'm open to any new suggestions you might have, or any, ways to look. But I think I probably could spend a little more time zeroing in on that buyer or seller and, where they might be.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I mean, the hardest thing, so, I've done my 2 and 3 day seminars before, and, the first part of it, the seminar is always about who you are, and the second part is like, who's your target market? And the biggest challenge we have sometimes in the seminars is people just picking one because they think they're limiting themselves, and they think, you know, or they just can't decide, right? And this is this I'd really ask you to kind of think about is just who is your perfect dream come true client. And I'm not asking you to blow up the rest of your business, your past client database. I'm just saying, like, you know what, for the next 3 months, just dedicate 20 or 25% of your time into this niche market of discovering where those people are. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, uh, I remember working with one lady who loves playing bridge with seniors, and I'm like, well, why do you play 5 games a week? Like, why wouldn't you want to do that? And because her niche was going to be senior sale leasebacks, when they stay in place and they just sell their house. I'm like, there's no
Mm-hmm.
better way. Like, you should be in bridge tournaments. You should play bridge 52 times a week because that's where your market is, right?
Right.
And if you just realize you just have to go to where your market is and then have the right thing to say at the right time. So I'm going to give you just a couple of ideas what I would probably suggest you do. Number one is you have to go back to everyone who's bought and sold a house over the last 2 years with you,
Mm-hmm.
and I want you to call and ask them 2 questions, okay? Because what we're doing is we're triggering your past client database for referrals right now to give you some deals coming in while we're building up
Mm-hmm.
your niche. So the first is you can ask them 2 questions, okay? They're really difficult. People,
Yeah.
even those people listening right now won't even have to write them down. But here's what it is. The first one is, how are you? And the
Uh-huh.
second question is, how's your home? And that is just a follow-up call. And a lot of agents feel bad because they haven't talked to their clients since they moved in or whatever. Other people, it's no problem. But when you call and ask that question to everyone who you bought and sold a house to right now, it says 2 things to them. It says you care, you're thinking about them. And
Mm-hmm.
isn't that what we all really want in our life? Like, we want to be felt important, that people care about us, and that we feel wanted. And when you can call these people and just say, hey, listen, I was just thinking about you the other day, or I just drove by your place the other day. I was thinking about, I just thought I'd give you a call. How are you? And then they're going to go, oh my God, great. It's so nice to hear from you, Michelle. We love the house, blah, 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 blah. And then you go, how is the home? And I would almost like pray that something goes wrong because it gives you an opportunity to overserve and fix it. But if nothing goes wrong, then it's fine. And that's all your conversation is. You don't ask for referrals. You don't do anything. They are going to bring up the real estate market because it's what you have in common with them right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great conversation starter. And the beautiful thing about this is when you call them, you're going to be top of their mind for the next week or two. Your number is going to be right on their easily accessible cell phone. And when they're out and someone's talking about real estate, they're going to go, oh, I was just talking to Michelle the other day. So it's a great opportunity for you to kind of get a stream of referrals coming from those people. Our record right now is one of the people we're coaching called 37 past clients. They got 14 referrals in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Well,
So that's number.
I did
What?
a lot of leasing in the first year or
Right.
two, so I don't.
That's fine.
And
That's
yeah,
fine.
I should be following up really hard with those people. But yeah,
Well,
They haven't been at the top of the list of people to call, but you're right. I should be taking advantage of those relationships.
100%. When I'm coaching a lot of the top teams, the first thing I tell them to do is create a rental division and do 100 leases a year because I know 40% of those people are probably going to move within 18 months. So why not pick up the phone, call those people who you already like, trust, and respect, who already know you, and just say, how are you? How's your rental? Do you want me to help you renew the lease? Is there anything I can do to help you with? And you're going to hear something like, yeah, or you know what, no, I think we're thinking about moving or whatever. You're like, perfect. But it
Mhm.
doesn't even matter what they do. It's more important of who they tell about you because of the way you made them feel. So that's number one.
Okay.
Number two, are most of these uh, professionals into wellness, the females you're talking about, are most of them single or married or have partners? What would be the distribution there?
I would say they are mostly married or with partners. There's maybe some that are single, but the age group really varies. Um, it, but I would say more so married than not married.
Okay. Is there a perfect client within that group that you would love to work with? Like, where are they living now? Where would they probably move to? Do you know any of that information?
Um, I think they're pretty much across the GTA in the downtown or the Toronto proper. Um, the meetings are on actually both sides of town. Um, I've been going to the West Side meeting, and there's another group on the East Side I went to. I went to last week, and there were 3 other realtors there already.
Okay.
It was funny because I've sort of work on the East Side, but I've been meeting with the original people on the West Side. So it there's it's still in a work in progress. I haven't. Um, there's 1 or 2 people that I've gotten close to. I actually did get one deal from one of the ladies in the group earlier this year, but it's I'm still building it. I'm still building the relationships. There's often different people at the meetups each time, so it's taking a little bit of time. And I think one of the ladies that I'm very close to, the organizer, she just rented a place, but she didn't speak to me, so maybe her partner chose the person that they were going to work with. So
Well, there's no shortage of realtors right now, right? Like it's like everyone knows 8 to 10 realtors, and so I don't know if you listened to an earlier podcast I did with Dan Sullivan. He's like, yeah, everyone knows 10.
Yeah.
People don't wake up and go, I need more. But what they do need
Yeah.
more is someone who gets them. And I'm going to tell
Yeah.
you right now, if you live on the East Side and you like working on the East Side, you probably should stop going to the West Side. Because I've gone to your website right now, and if I look at your website, you got areas serviced, and I think I'm counting about 72 areas serviced in Toronto. And all that says to somebody is that you're trying to be everything to everybody, and you end up being nothing to anybody. It's no different than if you ever see those white repair vans, and it says we do landscaping, roofing, kitchens, bathrooms, renos, cottage repairs, electrical, plumbing. Like they list every possible thing they do because they don't want to miss anybody. And then you have the one-day painting company that everybody knows what that company does. The more narrow you get on this, the better it's going to be, right? So I think that's number one, is I would focus more local and go to more events locally to you because you have more confidence probably with the East Side market than the West. Is that correct?
I just like the East Side. I'm very comfortable with either side in that I've lived in the city for 30 years, and I know the neighborhood. So I don't limit myself, and obviously being a new agent, you don't limit yourself to any. I'll drive to Mississauga if I have to. So
totally get that. I totally get it.
So,
but we have to be.
But it's hard to pick. It really is hard to pick.
So that's what we're trying to figure out, right? I mean, that's the beauty. Like I'm looking at this site. It says you're a specialist in agent court.
Oh no.
Humber Valley.
Does it say that?
Witchwood, Hillcrest Village, Mimico, Bloordale, Casaloma, Lambton, Baby Point, Willowdale. Like you got everything. There's nothing that you're not an expert in, and I'm telling you, the marketplace knows it. That you can't
say that. I have to check
this just
out.
At royallepage.ca. If I look at your name, that's where it sits. So, and then you've got areas of expertise.
That's my Royal LePage site. Okay.
But that's what comes up on the Google search, right? And that's what people are doing. So you have to know people are searching you and creeping you before they actually even meet you. And so your digital presence really matters. See, what you've got in your expertise is really good. You've got condominiums, rentals, first-time buyers, lofts, new condominiums.
Are you
So
looking
you've
at
narrowed
my michellepoirier.ca site or my Royal LePage site?
royallepage.ca, yeah.
Okay. I haven't looked at that one in a while because I've
Well, let's
focused
go
on
to
my other site. Thank you for pointing that out.
No problem. So I'm just trying to get Michelle Poirier to open. So I've got this. Okay, find your dream home now. You got a lot of pictures. You've got semi-detached. You got lofts, luxury bungalows, townhouses.
Yeah, it's a typical agent locator website.
Right. So the challenge with this, right, is unless we're like, you can this is kind of what everyone's got. And the reason that you won't be getting a lot of these online leads right now is because you got the kind of vanilla site. I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying most agents, this is their problem. They're just trying to be everything to everybody, and you end up being nothing and to anybody. And that's the big problem that we're trying to fight with the McQueenie method. It's like, where does this say that you are like? There's a testimonial from 10-year plus clients that say, I loved working with Michelle because she wasn't like most agents. She was patient, methodical. We were very picky buyers, but she gave us all. She never ran out of patience. She safely guided us to getting to that transaction, and I would recommend anyone who's like us to use Michelle. That's what your digital presence should be saying. And I know, so we're going over time here on the 25-minute one, but I think I'm going to stay. Are you okay? You still got some more time?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm going to stay with this a bit longer because what you're going through, Michelle, is what most agents are going through exactly right now. And it's the reason I wrote the book. It's the reason I did the book is because everyone's just kind of sitting there going, I don't know what to do. I don't really know, but I know I love what I want to do, but I can't seem to get the right people to work with all the time. And so this call has been about this exploration. Okay, what does Michelle really, really want? And then trying to find the kind of pathway for it, right? So the first is, who are you? We'll figure that one out. Target market, I think we're still a bit fuzzy on exactly what that perfect, computer avatar is, because the more we narrow it there, I think the better it's going to be on this one part of your business. Because what you'll find is once you find your niche, the first month it's 10 or 15% of your time, and then you kind of start making deals. And then the second month you go, boy, this stuff is working. And then you start putting 30 or 40% of your time into it. And within a year, probably 80% of the deals you do will be exactly with your niche market. And here's the beauty. When you can service that niche at a really high level, all of their friends are similar to them. And they're the gatekeepers, and how you show up and serve them will determine if they open the gate and bring you into their sphere. And most people know 200 to 400 people easily. So it's not only finding the target market, it's then service them at such a high level that they become raving fans of your business, so that they just start telling everyone they know. And now you start coming into what we call the referral receiving category instead of, or lead receiving, instead of you have to go out and lead generate all the time. And that's really the magic we're trying to discover here. So the biggest way, so I guess my other question to you would be, how would your so I think I know the answer, but how would your clients describe you? And then do you have your 60-second stump speech that you say when you meet people?
I'm always working on that speech. And it never seems to. I mean, my most recent speech was, sorry, I did doing construction outside. My most recent speech was just telling the ladies at the group that I'm beginning to specialize in helping people that are downsizing or needing somebody who's going to help them make a difficult move, or I started, and I don't have it in front of me, but I did plan one because we do introduce ourselves at each meeting. So I had one set up recently for that purpose. But I there's just so many possibilities. I'm being pulled in different directions all the time,
Okay.
with the all the ways of lead generation. Um, uh, every there's always changes in technology, changes in um, your database technology. There's always a lot coming at you, and so really fine tuning things is it's always something that I'm trying to do, but I never quite get it. Um,
Well,
and this
I
is
would just
why I
say,
started listening to your podcast.
well, if you want some coaching advice, I would just kind of say to you, stop it on almost all the stuff you're doing right now, because none of it really matters. The only thing that matters, you can see, there's nothing that money can't solve, right? So the more we
Right.
can get your production up right now, you can hire people to solve every single one of those problems that you're
Right.
spending so much time with. And the challenge is that for most agents, they're spending so much time in this irritating stuff that just has to
Mhm.
get done but doesn't really produce income, that they're too tired and burnt out to actually do the activities that produce income. So I'm going to change your introduction speech right now for you, okay?
Okay.
So next time, and this is your elevator pitch, or it's when someone meets you and says, "Oh, what do you do?" Right?
Yeah.
So
Great.
when someone, so let's hear what you say first when I go. So I've just met you and we're talking. I go, "Hey, Michelle. So what do you do?"
Hi, Glenn. I work in real estate and in the Toronto area, and I'm focusing right now on people that are empty nesters or in the process of downsizing, because I have the tools available to help them. Oh gosh, I couldn't even do it on the fly.
Okay. Well, what do
uh,
you do in real life? Just pretend. And I know I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but just imagine we've just met each other, and this doesn't have to be perfect, but it's your story, right? It's like when
I'm
you're
terrible at
doing
this.
fitness, right? So that's why we're going to fix it. Okay. Forget. I'm not going to put you on the spot anymore. Let's just fix it. Okay. So
Okay.
from now on, when someone says how's real estate, most agents make two big mistakes. First of all, they say it's great, and the second thing they say is I'm really busy.
Right.
And those are the two worst things you could ever say, because you're projecting that you're successful, and what they're
Mhm.
hearing is, "Oh, good, you don't need my help."
Right.
Think about that. And it's so
Uh-huh.
what people learn is really on metaphors, and we learn by stories and great stories. And the more you can learn to tell a great story when someone asks you, "What do you do?" the more interest you have, because you've got like 10 seconds or 15 seconds to really grab their attention, or they're going to wane off on you, right? So
Right.
if I'm Michelle and I'm at a fitness group and you're talking afterwards and chatty, and then you're like, "Oh, well, do you live around here?" "Yes, we do." Da da da. And then what do you do? And you say, "I'm in real estate, and I really specialize in helping people come from big homes down to small homes." And just a couple weeks ago, I helped this young family, or this family, move from here to here. They were able to put $400,000 in the bank, and now they're able to take more time off, spend more time traveling, doing the things they really want to do, and on a monthly cash flow basis, they don't have to pay the high condo fees anymore, the high taxes, and they're just like so happy. And I just saw a place the other day that's perfect for someone to downsize. Do you know anyone who's thinking about downsizing?
Okay.
Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Well, I have a good story I could use there because I actually
Okay.
just did
Well,
something
let's.
like that, and yeah, I could totally work that.
Okay, so let's hear your story. Okay, so tell me the story. So, hi, Michelle. How are you? Oh, yeah. You living around here? Yeah, great. So, what do you do, Michelle?
Oh, hi, Glenn. I'm in real estate, and I specialize in helping people downsize into smaller homes. And just the other day, I helped a client sell her Victorian semi in over in Leslieville, and she moved into a wonderful loft close to the distillery. And in the process, she paid off her mortgage and is now living 100% debt free and she's loving it. And they have you noticed the area, the Corktown area is doing wonderful. Do you know anyone who might be interested in going through the process of downsizing right now and moving into maybe a loft or a townhouse in the East End?
I think you did very well. That's a lot better than your first one, right?
That's the best I can do on the fly.
That's right.
I
Well,
really
once,
need to write things down.
yeah,
I'm still feeling really green when it comes to talking about myself and what I do.
that's right. Well, but see, this is the big leap forward for you. Is if like okay, if we only have a 20-second audition potentially in front of somebody, how do we get them to open their gate to other people? And I wouldn't be like, so who do you know, or do you have anyone else, or like, can you send me referrals? Because I don't know if that really works that much, especially with us kind of like passive aggressive Torontonians.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's much better if you just tell winning formula stories, and then you change your story depending on who you're talking to. So if you meet up with this, it's a younger age group, and it's someone who's had their first child, and you want to help them sell their condo and move into Leslieville right now, then you just change the story. Well, what I do is I really help young couples with young families who are trying to get out of the condominium into beautiful homes with great backyards so they don't have to lug all the groceries up the stairs. And I just helped this young couple. They sold their place in Liberty Village, and they've just bought over on the Danforth. And you know what? Because the prices have just corrected right now, the condo didn't go down as much as the semi they were buying. So they were able to move up way cheaper than if they did in the first quarter of this year. And I'm telling you, this is one of the best opportunities for people to move up. Do you know anyone who has a young couple with one baby who's thinking about moving out? The more specific you ask is exactly how our brain works. So our mind works like a computer filing cabinet, right? Like a computer file. So it's like, so if I would say to you, who do you know who's getting married this year? You would probably, the name would come right to the top of your head because it was so specific what I asked for.
Right,
if I said, who do you know who's thinking about buying or selling? Like people are like, oh my God, that's too much mental work to figure out. So they just go, I don't know, but I'll keep you in mind, So the more specific referral requests you can ask, the better it's going to be. So I think we've only got about a minute or two left here. But I think maybe just over the next short period of time is how can you, if you really want to perfect the dialogues, which I think is going to be your best lead generation source, it's just go meet more people and keep saying the same thing to them, and then you're going to be connecting with different people. This could just be your niche right now. But the best way to create value and add value to them is to be giving them specific numbers. We downsized their semi-Victorian. They sold it for $1.6 million, and they were able to buy a condo in the Distillery District for $750, and they were able to pay off their mortgage, and now they live debt-free. That's a really good story. Instead of it's a great addition to the story you told. It's specific facts and datas and scoop
numbers. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then just think about that. And then I would almost create your own Facebook page called Picky People Who Downsize. I think that would be
that's
awesome.
Great.
And there, all you do is feature articles for picky people who like to downsize and tell stories of how you just help those picky people downsize into another property. And here's my picky people downsize home of the week. And you could say this beautiful, condo in this is ideal for someone who's thinking about moving down from their Victorian in Leslieville.
Right. Okay.
Do you see how specific we are? It's like, and so, the beautiful thing about Facebook and Facebook targeted ads, and you don't have to spend a lot of money on it, is you just have to claim your name. And when you claim the name, people automatically think you're a specialist in it.
Right.
So
you can have multiple Facebook pages.
No, just one. Okay, stop it. Just one. Okay. Just
Okay, there you
keep
go.
one going, okay? I know. See, there you go again. You gotta okay, we'll do 15 pitches.
Oh
No,
yeah,
no, just get
I'm
one
branching
going.
out. I'm
Yeah, get
branching out
one,
already.
master one, and then you can move on to the next one. But you could start Googling picky people who buy real estate and find really interesting articles and start reposting them up on Facebook and with links back to your homepage. Or, business pages are free. They're so easy to set up on Facebook. But while all the other agents are just talking about, if you ever look at most Facebook feeds, it's here's my new listing, here's my, and nobody cares.
Right.
What people are really looking for is in all the noise out there, they're looking for someone who gets them. Because the irony is, even though we're more connected than we ever have been in life, there's more people feeling more disconnected from everyone else than ever.
Right.
And they're just looking for people like them that they can hang out with and have something in common. And I would even share your link back to all your past clients and going, I'm looking for the pickiest people you know. Um, and can you share this link with them? Because I'm going to have a kind of a semi-funny educational look at targeting picky people who, it's picky people pursuing patient agent, like as many alliterations as you can is the best, right? And if you had cartoons of picky people trying to find something, a picky person trying to make a decision, that's what talks to somebody, and no one else will get it except for the picky person who will get the biggest laugh out of the whole thing.
Right. Right. Okay.
Does that make
It
sense?
seems like a pretty narrow market.
I know, that's the point.
It really does.
The narrower the market, the
If I'm
deeper the market.
doing this, if I'm going after this client, do I also need to go after this client in a certain area only? Or, I mean, do I restrict myself to the east side? Like, that's the part that I find
Start
hard
small
to.
and go wide.
Uh-huh.
You have to go narrow first before you go wide. Every
Okay.
single you can Google a thing called the long tail, which is all about niche markets. But if you go into a shopping, if you ever get to like Yorkdale or Fairview Mall or some of the big shopping centers, if you look
Mm-hmm.
at the people who are going under and out of business are the big department stores trying to be everything to everybody because they don't want to
Right.
miss anybody, and they end up being nothing to nobody. Like no one wakes up and goes, "I got to go to Sears today," right?
Not
But they do
anymore.
wake up, right? Or Target, or in
Unless
Canada,
it's
or
for
some of the other ones,
a
right?
clearance item,
So
yeah.
next time, just walk through a shopping mall when you're on it, not like a neighborhood street, but a shopping mall, and just look at the busiest stores. And I will guarantee you, they're the narrowest market all the time. Look at the lineup for the Sunglass Hut, Softmock, Lululemon.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how busy those stores are compared to the people trying to be everything. The new
Right.
the new thing is we can find information so quickly, and we're trying to find someone who's the specialist in solving my unique problem. And when you position yourself in the marketplace that way, that's where you win. So go really narrow, narrow your focus, and every time you start going, oh my God, this is too narrow, just go, Glenn said, stop it. Just keep as
Mm-hmm.
narrow as possible and just find. And even I think that'd be a great story. It's like, what do you do in real estate? Oh, I just help picky people downsize. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the expert. And I got a Facebook people called picky people right sizing their home or pick whatever. That becomes on your website. It becomes on your card. It's pickypeoplerealestate.com. You start tying everything back together, and then guess what? When you keep talking about picky people, you'll get picky people.
Right. And then I'll regret it. No, I'm kidding.
No,
Then
it'll be
I'll
great.
think, oh no, what have I done? Yeah. I guess the only thing that I think, and I know that we're running out of time, the only thing that I guess
Yeah.
that worries me is that if I announce that this is what I'm doing and all of the people that I'm talking to are not in that age group or they're not in the process of downsizing, do I alienate anyone by saying that?
No, you actually get more people. It's so weird, right? Like, because most of your clients think you only do what you did to them anyway. and it hasn't stopped them from referring other people to you. If you help someone lease a condo, they'll usually send other people who want to lease a condo.
Right.
So they already have got you positioned as doing one thing. What actually happens is you get a bigger market. So like when I golf and I'm on the golf course and people are saying, "Oh, Glenn has real estate," I always will tell a story about how our brokerage is focusing on helping people right-size their homes, because the people I'm talking to are usually 50 to 70-year-old men who are thinking about downsizing their homes.
Okay.
So now I'm known at the club as the person, if anyone's thinking about downsizing and right-sizing or doing sale leasebacks, that they should come and talk to me, because I'm the specialist in it. It expands your market. It doesn't detract it. Because all the other agents, when people go, "What do you do?" They're going, or how's real estate? They go, "Oh, it's great. I'm really busy." And it's like, no, you're not. And it's not great. So why are you lying to people, right? So, okay, we got to wrap this up,
Okay,
Michelle. Was that worthwhile? Did you get some ideas there?
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Okay. All right.
Thank
so I'm going to look. I'm going to start. Oh, you're welcome. I'm going to start stalking you now and making sure I find that Picky People Facebook page as your first step, because I think it's going to be really great for you.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks a million. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.